Something I see almost every single week in my practice. Someone walks in, sits down across from me, and says the same thing. Doc, my eyes just aren't what they used to be. They're squinting at their phone. They're holding the restaurant menu at arm's length. They're avoiding driving at night because the headlights blur into these starbursts that make them nervous. And here's what breaks my heart. Most of them think this is just inevitable. That once you hit your 60s or 70s, declining vision is something you just have to accept. But what if I told you that 3 simple seeds, foods you can find at any grocery store, could actually help reverse some of that decline? I'm Dr. Ben Walker, and over the past 18 years working with patients in their 60s and 70s, I've seen firsthand how the right nutritional interventions can transform my health. Today, I'm going to share the 3 specific seeds that can help protect your vision, reduce your risk of macular degeneration, and in some cases, actually improve how well you see. Stay until the end because seed number 3 is the one that most people prepare completely wrong, which means they're getting almost none of the benefits. Before we dive in, drop your city or country in the comments below. I love seeing where everyone's watching from. Now, let's talk about why your eyes are struggling. Your retina, that thin layer of tissue at the back of your eye, is one of the most metabolically active tissues in your entire body. It's constantly processing light, converting it into electrical signals, and sending that information to your brain. This process creates something called oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on metal, except it's happening to the delicate cells in your eyes. Over time, this oxidative damage accumulates. The macula, the central part of your retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision, starts to deteriorate. You might notice that straight lines look wavy. Reading becomes harder even with your glasses. Colors seem less vibrant than they used to be. Here's what most people don't realize. Your eyes need a constant supply of specific nutrients to fight this oxidative damage. When you don't get enough of these nutrients, your vision declines faster. The proteins in your lens start to clump together, creating cataracts. The tiny blood vessels in your retina become fragile and can leak. Your night vision gets worse because the rod cells in your retina aren't functioning properly. Let me tell you the biggest mistakes I see people making when it comes to protecting their vision. First, they're relying entirely on eye drops and prescription changes. Look, I'm not against those things. They absolutely have their place. But if you're not addressing the nutritional deficiencies that are driving the problem, you're just treating symptoms. Second, they're taking generic multivitamins and thinking that's enough. Here's the hard truth. Most multivitamins contain such small amounts of the nutrients your eyes actually need that they barely make a dent. And third, and this is huge, they're avoiding fats because they think all fat is bad for them. But your eyes desperately need certain healthy fats to absorb the nutrients that protect your vision. Without those fats, you could be eating all the right foods and still not getting the benefits. I see this constantly in my practice. Someone comes in, they've been taking their vitamins religiously, they're confused about why their vision keeps getting worse. Then we look at their diet, and I find out they're on a super low-fat diet because they're worried about their heart. The irony? They're sabotaging their eye health in the process. All right, let's get into the 3 seeds that can actually make a difference. And I want to be clear, these aren't magic bullets. But when you use them correctly, the results can be remarkable. Seed number 1 is flaxseed. Now, you've probably heard about flaxseed before, but let me explain what's actually happening in your eyes when you consume it regularly. Flaxseed is the richest plant source of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid or ALA. When you consume ALA, your body converts some of it into EPA and DHA, the same omega-3s found in fish oil. Here's why this matters for your vision. The retina has one of the highest concentrations of DHA in your entire body. DHA is literally a structural component of your retinal cell membranes. It keeps those membranes fluid and flexible, which allows them to function properly. A 2022 study published in the journal Nutrients showed that people who consumed omega-3s regularly had a 30% lower risk of developing age-related macular degeneration compared to those who didn't. But here's what makes flaxseed special. It also contains lignans, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation throughout your body, including in your eyes. Now, here's how to use flaxseed correctly. You need 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed per day. This is critical. It must be ground. Whole flax seeds will pass through your digestive system intact, and you'll get 0 benefits. You can buy pre-ground flaxseed, But honestly, I recommend buying whole seeds and grinding them yourself in a coffee grinder because the oils in ground flaxseed can go rancid quickly. Sprinkle those 2 tablespoons on your morning oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or mix them into yogurt. Take them in the morning with a meal that contains some healthy fat, like eggs cooked in olive oil or avocado on toast. The fat helps your body absorb those omega-3s. Here's the pro tip. Store your flaxseed in the refrigerator or freezer. The omega-3 oils are fragile and can break down when exposed to heat and light, which means you lose the benefits. Seed number 2 is pumpkin seeds. These little green powerhouses are absolutely loaded with zinc, and zinc is crucial for our health in ways most people don't understand. Your retina contains extremely high concentrations of zinc. In fact, the retina and the part of the eye called the choroid, which supplies blood to the retina, have some of the highest zinc levels in your entire body. Zinc helps vitamin A travel from your liver to your retina, where it's used to produce melanin, a protective pigment. Zinc also acts as a cofactor for over 300 enzymes in your body, many of which are involved in fighting oxidative stress in your eyes. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 68 when we started working together, and she was frustrated because her night vision had gotten so bad that she'd stopped going out in the evenings. She tried everything she could think of, multiple eye doctor visits, new prescriptions, special glasses. Nothing helped. We ran some labs and found that her zinc levels were borderline low. I put her on a protocol that included eating a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds daily, and within 8 weeks, she told me something that honestly surprised even me. "I went to my grandson's evening soccer game last week," she said. "I could actually see the players clearly as it got dark. I haven't been able to do that in 3 years." Now, here's how to incorporate pumpkin seeds. You want about a quarter cup per day, which is roughly 1 ounce or about 28 grams. You can eat them raw, but I actually prefer roasted because the flavor is better and you're more likely to stick with it. You can buy them pre-roasted without added oils or salt, or you can roast them yourself at 300 degrees for about 15 minutes. Eat them as a mid-afternoon snack, sprinkle them on salads, or add them to trail mix. The best time to eat them is with a meal that contains vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers or citrus fruits because vitamin C enhances zinc absorption. Here's what most people miss. Don't go overboard. Too much zinc can actually interfere with copper absorption, which is also important for your eyes. Stick to that quarter cup daily. Now, seed number 3, and this is the one where most people mess up completely, chia seeds. Chia seeds are another excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids, but they also contain something else your eyes desperately need, lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids that accumulate in your macula and act like natural sunglasses. They filter out harmful blue light and protect against oxidative damage. Think of them as a protective shield for the most important part of your retina. A 2021 study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that higher dietary intake of lutein and zeaxanthin was associated with a significantly reduced risk of advanced age-related macular degeneration. But here's the thing about chia seeds that trips people up. If you don't prepare them correctly, your body can't access many of these nutrients. When chia seeds get wet, they form a gel coating. This gel can actually prevent your digestive enzymes from breaking down the seed properly. Here's the right way to use chia seeds. You need about 2 tablespoons per day, but instead of just sprinkling them dry on your food or dumping them into a smoothie, you need to either grind them first or soak them for at least 20 minutes before consuming them. When you soak them, use a ratio of 1 part chia seeds to 6 parts liquid. You can use water, milk, almond milk, whatever you prefer. Let them sit for 20 minutes, and you'll see them swell up and form that gel. That's when the nutrients become bioavailable. I like to make what I call a chia pudding. Mix 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened almond milk. Add a dash of cinnamon and maybe a teaspoon of honey. Let it sit overnight in the fridge, and you've got a nutritious breakfast that's actually protecting your vision. Here's the pro tip for chia seeds. Combine them with a source of healthy fat and vitamin E. I often tell people to add a handful of almonds to their chia pudding because almonds provide vitamin E, which works synergistically with the omega-3s to protect your retinal cells. Or mix in a tablespoon of almond butter. Now, let me give you the critical rules you need to follow to actually get results from these seeds. Rule number 1. Consistency matters more than quantity. Eating a huge amount of these seeds once or twice a week won't do much. Your body needs a steady supply of these nutrients. Aim for daily consumption, or at minimum, 5 to 6 days per week. Rule number 2. Don't cook these seeds at high temperatures. High heat can destroy the delicate omega-3 fatty acids. If you're adding them to oatmeal, add them after the oatmeal is cooked. If you're baking with them, keep the temperature below 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Rule number 3. Pair these seeds with healthy fats if they don't already contain enough on their own. The carotenoids and fat-soluble vitamins in these seeds need fat to be absorbed. Have your chia pudding with some nuts. Eat your pumpkin seeds with avocado. Add your ground flaxseed to a smoothie that contains nut butter or coconut oil. Rule number 4. Stay hydrated. This is especially important with chia and flax seeds because they absorb a lot of water. If you're not drinking enough water, you could end up with digestive discomfort. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water throughout the day. Here's what a typical day might look like if you're incorporating all 3 of these seeds. For breakfast, you might have that chia pudding I mentioned with some sliced almonds on top. Mid-morning, maybe you're having a smoothie with a tablespoon of ground flaxseed blended in along with some berries and spinach. For an afternoon snack, grab that 1/4 cup of roasted pumpkin seeds. It's that simple. You're getting all 3 seeds. You're getting the nutrients your eyes need, and you're not overhauling your entire life to do it. Let me quickly recap what we've covered. Seed number 1, flaxseed. 2 tablespoons ground daily, preferably in the morning with a meal containing healthy fat. Seed number 2, pumpkin seeds. A 1/4 cup daily, great for zinc, which helps with night vision and overall retinal health. Seed number 3, chia seeds. 2 tablespoons daily, but make sure you soak them or grind them first so your body can actually absorb the nutrients. These 3 seeds provide omega-3 fatty acids, zinc, lutein, zeaxanthin, and powerful antioxidants that protect your eyes from oxidative damage and support healthy vision as you age. Now, here's what I want you to do. Type, "I watched till the end" in the comments below, and tell me, which of these 3 seeds are you already using? If you found this information helpful, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone you know who's struggling with their vision. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do because I'm sharing evidence-based health strategies every week. Look, I know how frustrating it is to feel like your body is letting you down, but small, consistent changes in what you eat can make a real difference. You don't have to accept declining vision as inevitable. Take control of your health, one seed at a time. This is Dr. Ben Walker, and I'll see you in the next video.